Hello everybody and welcome to this video. I'm going to take my glasses off because you can't see. So you can see the ring through my eyes, which is quite freaky and makes me look like I'm a robot. How are you all? I do apologise for the hat and the scarf again. It is freezing cold in this room. Just willies, just mic test. I don't know why I say willies because I can't hear the feedback anyway. So I just could be going. It just could be going. I have no idea. I have no idea of testing it. I'm going to have a drink though. I'm going to grab myself a Coke, hopefully not one that's been recalled. And I'm going to end up dead. Welcome to the video. So today, over the months and months and months, since March, I've been knocking around on the lonely plains of YouTube. And one thing that I've sort of not I've covered everything. I've covered games, I've covered consoles, I've covered figures, I've covered Funko Pops, I've covered Warhammer, I've covered everything, pretty much most stuff in my collection. One thing I've never haven't collected, so this is a really pointless video because I haven't collected it and I haven't got any to show you. One thing that I've never covered is literature, like basically collectible paraphernalia, memorabilia. And that could be anything in the shape of books or pamphlets or flyers or collectibles in that way. But it is a big part of my collection, and it's something, to be honest, I like looking at more than the rest of it. Really, it's one of the things I love collecting the most. So this is one of probably a couple because I've got so much literature to go through, and I've got a big pile here I wanted to go through today, and we can just sort of chill out and do this if that's okay with you guys, if you're all right with that. I'm not going to have a very long video because it's fucking freezing in here. But before I begin, I want to show you my new. So obviously we have, or we did have, the dog. We have the dog, which has become a staple for the channel. There he is. What do you think, dog? Boom. There you go. We've got suspicious chicken. He's a very suspicious looking chicken. When I picked him up, I wanted him because he was a suspicious chicken. And I went, I love this suspicious chicken. I love his little face. He's so shifty. He's like, I'm not. It's like I'm going. Yes, I'm not sure. Is there something weird? Suspicious chicken. What do you think, suspicious chicken? Do you think there might be something going on? Okay, suspicious chicken. Thank you. That, but that's great. Suspicious chicken. There he is. But there's one more thing on suspicious chicken that makes him even better than that, right? And it's this. If you turn him round, he lays an egg. So it's a suspicious chicken. He squeaks as well. But he's from Muji. No, Kenji, not Muji. Kenji. There you go. Suspicious chicken. Fucking lays an egg. Love him. He's my new toy. He's probably you've got to feature quite a lot on this channel as the time goes on. But we've got a big pile here, and I wanted to go through it with you all, if that's okay. I think there's probably going to be like a three-parter. I've got quite a lot of stuff. But let's make a start. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm just going to start from the beginning, and it's stuff like certain games will kind of add things into the game, and there's stuff that normally gets lost or thrown away. And it's when you go to places like CEX and you pick up a copy of something and you think, and then when you open it, you go, oh, there's something. It's still in there. It's still in there. And this was with Tekken 8. So there you go. I think I've already shown this. Tekken 8 actually had a metal plate with it that's like a wall art, which I thought was pretty cool, which was pretty snazzy. Yeah, so it's stuff like that I always like to collect. Now I've got some other bits and bobs. I'm just going to go through them. They're a little bit out of whack. They're not exactly in any kind of order, but I thought we could just have a chat, have a laugh, and go through some old stuff of mine. And please, in the comments, if you let me know what you've got in your collection, if you've got something particularly strange, weird, or rare. I've got some weirdos in here that you might like. So I went to university and I studied for design, and I studied for graphic design and art was what I did. And The wonderful thing about that course was that I got to go to very exclusive things where they would open stuff and they'd show off the new stuff. I went to go to, there's a shop in England, in Britain, called Muji. Muji's a Japanese kind of design shop, and this was just a catalogue they released for their kind of their latest shit that they were making. There's like I think there's like a DVD player in there, which I find fun, and it just kind of shows designs. And I love all this kind of stuff because this is kind of like a look at the past. I mean, this is probably about 2006. It's going back about 18 years. And it's just what we saw as innovative back then. It's just not innovative now, is it? It's DVD players on 4K now, but back then it was very cool and cutting edge and awesome. So that kind of stuff I really enjoy. I've got some band stuff as well. A lot of bands back, if you went to some very small gigs and more personal gigs. Oh, that's another design thing. So that was an award. That was a design award. They're really cool because they put it on tracing paper. Look, so yeah, there was all this kind of pretension with these things. People looking, dressed up as. There was one guy I remember. I went to one, and he was stood there, and he was dressed like a 1940s fucking Spitfire Spitfire pilot. And he was just stood there with this moustache that had been kind of waxed and curled at the ends. He looked like some sort of he looked like Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes. He was going, meh, still smoking a pipe. Consulting on design, as people used to do back then. But yeah, it was a strange time to be a student back then. But I managed to retain quite a few. There's quite a lot of stuff, but I thought I'd just throw some bits in. Now, if you went to bands, a lot of bands would give you stuff if you went to go and see them live. There was an album released for a band called the 2220s. I had it. It was a live album. It had was their first album. They were featured on one car advert. I remember it was when a guy was running down a hill to try and beat it or something, and the music played, and it was "Devil in Me" by 2220s. And if you go to the gigs, they will give you shit. And this was a cardboard fold sleeve to go over your album. There you go. They would give those away free, all for me. No, they were a very good band, very good, cool guys as well. I hung around with those guys. They're really cool dudes. A bit of jamming with them. Played a few gigs with them. Good stuff. So there was a band called the Vines, if you remember the Vines, and we went to see the Vines, and they decided that a really cool thing to give everybody at the door, if you ask for it, excuse me. That's horrible, wasn't it? I have another drink. If you were if you owned the first album, which I think was Highly Evolved, I think the first album was called, they provided you with alternate fronts for your album. And I've still got 3 of them here. So that's the original front. I don't know why they gave me that. That was one that he drew. That was actually original art, cover art by Craig Nichols. That's the lead singer of the Vines. He didn't even bother to finish it. I don't know what that's meant to represent there. It looks like she just rubbed her arm out, and then that one, which again was there you go. So Grant Nichols, the guy who I remember we went to see him at a gig, and he took his top off, and everybody laughed, and he put it back on again. That's true. That actually did happen. Everybody just pissed themselves because he had a little tiny belly, because he famously in Enemy lived on McDonald's, and there you go. So there you are. That's another one. That's from Ash. We went to see Ash when they released the album Meltdown, and that told you wherever else they were. The Birmingham Academy, which is unfortunately no longer there, which was my haunt. And I'll show you some more things. And I've got things like, I like to keep like ticket stubs. This is a ticket stub for 100 Reasons in 2004 on the 4th of November at 7 o'clock. There you go. Yeah, there we are. So 100 Reasons. In fact, I have a book of them here, and I'll kind of go through. So I kept a lot of stuff. I didn't keep it all. Let's have a look. So this is pretty cool. There was a band, if everyone knows of Slipknot, the drummer from Slipknot went into another band called Murder Dolls. And that was, there you go, there they are. Wonderful, yeah. There they are. They sing wonderful songs like "The Day We Went to Scarborough Fair" and "Tinkle Tinkle Toes" was another one they did, child song. But if you were one of the first 100, you got a free plectrum. I was one of the first 100 in the queue, so I got a plectrum. I think there's some pictures of. There you go, of the guys. We kind of met them. There we are. Might not be of interest to you guys, but it was something. What else is in here? Yeah, I keep, like I say, keep a lot of stubs, dinghy stubs. A Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, one of the coolest bands ever to be formed. They were formed from the rocks themselves. 2002. There you go, 5th of December 2002. Very cool. Onwards to another great band. There you go, Feeder and Hell is for Heroes. Literally one of my favourite bands ever. The Enemy Awards right there, with the Datsuns. They're like AC/DC if they were fucking awesome. No, AC/DC are perfect. I love AC/DC, but they're very good. Datsuns are super cool. Another bunch there. We got Murder Dolls and Placebo. And a little stub there from when I was playing. There's just some stuff that was given away free, some bits. So I always keep these things. That's what I can show you this because it doesn't matter. That's my very, very, very first mobile number. There you go. My very first mobile number. What else is in here? That was when I went to see Peter Kay. There you go. That was V Festival. There you go. Yeah, just loads of stuff. Just kept it all in here to kind of keep me sane. Some more ticket stubs, more ticket stubs. That was Muse when I went to see Muse. There was the whole, even the train. I've got the train tickets in that one. This book's awesome. Muse again, Feeder, Hell is for Heroes. Hell is for Heroes are an amazing band. I was very big on that type of music. Oh, I can't show you this page. Well, I can. It's not porn. It's not rude. There was a band called Lost Prophets back in the day. I'll show you the picture. There they are. There's my ticket stub for the Lost Prophets. There you go. And they were cool. They were a very cool band. And it turns out that this guy right here, doing that V, is a fucking nonce. With all kinds of babies. Dirty fucker. There you go. Distillers. There she is. Delicious Brody Dale. My good lord. I have a very disgusting story about her. I went to see her at the Download and she was singing and she spit in my mouth. I don't know if that's a brag. But she did. It wasn't meant to happen. I was going, yeah! And she was gobbing into the crowd because she's all punk. And it went in my mouth. So there you go. Ash, there you go. The Datsuns again. The Music, there was another band. And yeah, just this is always nice to do. If you guys obviously want to do things like this, it's always cool to collect stuff. My driving test! I stuck it in here. This book's awesome. I forgot how good this book is. I could sit here and have a moment. The Clothes Show. Why the fuck did I go there? Krispy Kreme. My first time at Krispy Kreme. There you go. There was me with when I went to sort of say hello to a dolphin. This was other stuff when I first went to Philadelphia. There you go. Just stuff, just things, stuff and things. But it's always wonderful to have these kind of pages in here because you kind of get the memories built up. This was pretty cool. This is a very young looking me. Younger than my videos I showed you recently. There I am with the wonderful late George A. Romero. There he is. Oh, I love that man. And I miss him. And zombies need him. Very sad that he's now gone. There's me with Dave Lister's guitar from Red Dwarf. That was when we were queuing to go and meet them. God, The jaw on me, I tell you now. Fucking hell. I didn't realise it was like that. And then there's other stuff in there as well. So yeah, it goes on. The book goes on. There's loads more in there. But yeah, I won't bore you more with that. But that's definitely something. If you're interested in obviously making a collection of stuff, it's a nice way of making kind of a scrapbook that you can kind of refer back to, which is always good. Onwards and upwards, we can go to. I'll just go through some of these bits because I just realised it's 15 minutes and we've just gone through that yet. We've got there's a little stencil that Ash gave us. Land of the Dead stub. We can see it at the cinema. This is a free card I got for Kill Bill, one of my favourite films. A very long lost Simpsons trading card game, and this is all that remains in my collection as far as I can tell. I've got Windy Pops coming out my arse at the moment. But yeah, this was is it still on? Oh, sorry, I just tickled it with that. Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the only ones left, and it is what's his name? Number One from the Stonecutters. This was what we got in the queue when we went to see Red Dwarf. Well, when we said the Red Dwarf crew, we met them all. Although this is a weird one because she wasn't there. That's the lady who took over when Chris Barry decided he wanted to go and do British Empire. There was 2 TV shows at the time. I don't know if you know Red Dwarf. There was Red Dwarf and there was British Empire. And Chris Barry had wrote and kind of put a lot of money into British Empire. And British Empire, he was I forget what his name, something Britus, Mr. Britus they called him, and he ran a leisure centre, which was chaotic, and it was okay. It was very safe comedy. He was better than that. Chris Barry was better than that. I wasn't a big fan of British Empire. It was fucking weird. There was like the receptionist that kept her kids under the cupboard. There was Colin, if I remember, that had every disease ever going. I'm surprised. I think he even had leprosy in one point to make a joke. But he decided to leave Red Dwarf in order to try and get to work on British Empire. And so they decided to do this thing with a rift where Rimmer left to be Ace Rimmer. And we got Kachansky back. There she is. A very poshly spoken Kachansky, which I think it was because Kachansky actually did like Lister at the beginning of the show. So it was like, if they'd have brought her back as normal Kachansky, they'd have just got together. So there was always this idea of that's not going to work. So we need to break that down. I got this from seeing AC/DC live. Brilliant. All access. Onwards to some books and things. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I do apologise. But I just wanted to have a chat with you. I miss this. This is fun. This is like therapy to me. I felt so much calmer now I've been doing these videos. And I think we're going to have a little interlude with the chicken squeeze. The flop. There you go, a little chicken squeeze there. Ghost World. This is the graphic novel by Daniel Klaus. Obviously, there was also the film, which is up here. Oh, with a very, very, very young Scarlett Johansson and a wonderfully beautiful Thora Birch. There she is with the blue hair. Stunning. Love Thora Birch. She was the little girl in Hocus Pocus, and she grew up, and we're so glad she did. But yeah, there you go, Thora Birch and Scarlett Johansson and Steve. Whoa, where are you going? Where are you going? There you go. Come back to me. But yeah, there you go. So that was that. That's one of my favorite books. So I like to keep graphic novels as well. I've got a little mini bookcase of it. This is the first guide the official PlayStation magazine released for the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 came out and they released this, which is the complete guide to PS2 gaming. I love old magazines, and if you can get them, you can get them on eBay. People do still sell them. I am buying mine because I lost a lot of mine due to an accident involving my brother and one of his shithead kids. That was me. I mean it, though. They ripped my magazines to pieces on my birthday. What the fuck? What did they get me? Cancer for as a present? Fucking bastards. So PlayStation 2, the complete guide, and if you look inside, it's just brilliant. It's like a little time machine, just showcasing Ico there. There's Ico. That's looks like Metal Gear Solid 2. So it's kind of going through some of the bigger games. Look at that, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. But it's weird because it's not like reading Retro Gamer, which is one I have every month. This is like reading it when it was new. So they're talking about it as an innovation. They're not talking about it as something from the past. They're talking about it as how cutting edge this game is going to be. And it's brilliant. I love it. I love these things. They're perfect. Um, Onwards to things like this. I always collect things like this. So I'm a big model collector. So this is a 2006 model collector's calendar, which obviously showcases the best of whatever was going on. And the one thing I love the most about this, more than probably the pictures here, is this shit. I love all the adverts. I love reading these companies. I wonder if they're still going, if they're still functioning, if they've done well, if they've failed. Always interests me. So yeah, there you go. A 2006 calendar there of collectible stuff. Brilliant. Could I be any more in heaven there? This one is Kerrang, which was a magazine I had weekly. There's Muse, the greatest band on earth. I think you will agree. Matt Bellamy, fucking fuckity puppity, and Jimmy Simon. One of the fucking most incredible drummers I've ever seen in my entire life. This guy's a fucking monster, and he's got to be one of the best bassist players in my life. And Matt Bellamy, who's just a complete and utter fucking genius. Amazing. But yeah, Kerrang again, just going back into time. This is 2000 and something. So what do we have here? Who's this? Who's that? Is that Bullet for My Valentine? Is that Bullet for My Valentine there? Looking very angry. The Welsh Rockers. And a few others that looks like Pearl Jam. There's Green Day before he looked like Ellen DeGeneres, which he does now. Onwards to another magazine. So even further back than the PlayStation magazine, I have. Is it still on? Boobies. I have the PlayStation official PlayStation magazine for the first PlayStation. This is advertising Crash 2, and this was the very first magazine I ever owned for the PlayStation. This is it. I've even got the demo disc in my collection. Pandemonium 2. Do you remember that game? A bit like Nights into Dreams. That was the hot game as well, by the looks of it. There you go. Fighting Force. If you can collect old magazines, get onto eBay, get buying these things because they feel so good to read. You're just reading them as and when they're happening, and it's just the innovation to it. There's an advert for Hercules. Look on the PlayStation 1. Amazing, really good. And this was out in 1997. This magazine. There you go. Christmas 1997. Top notch. So let's go for the next bit. I'm a big comic fan. My very first graphic novel was The Simpsons. This magazine, this book. This was bought for me by my sister when I was about 8, maybe 9. And this is great. This was bought for me for my birthday, and I remember sat there reading it, falling in love with it. It was brilliant because I had never seen Simpsons. For any of you youngsters who are watching this, Simpsons came out, and unless you had satellite, you never watched it. No one had seen it. People were fucking crazy over it. There was songs released. There was the Bartman. This was never released. Nobody ever saw. We never watched it. I'd never seen The Simpsons. I was obsessed. I was one kid in school who could do Bart Simpson bang on. My balls have dropped now. I can't do it anymore. But back then I could do Bart Simpson. And they used to wheel me out in assemblies when they couldn't be asked to prepare anything. They used to say, do you want to hear Phil do Bart Simpson? And I used to go, down of a cow, man. And everyone used to go, whee. Obviously I can't do it anymore. Now I do Homer Simpson. I talk like that. Ooh, Bert Beer. Oh. But obviously back then I could do Bart Simpson, which I can't do anymore. And obviously I do other characters as well. Like Mr. Smithers and Mr. Burns. And Mr. Burns. I'll stop doing that now. But yes, so that was the first magazine I ever had. It was the first book I ever had, and great book, really, really wonderful. But yeah, there you go. This is how it is. So this is a magazine, and well, it's guides. I like game guides as well, and this one is very, very used. This is my Resident Evil guide. As you can see, it's creased here. This this thing has been used to death. Okay, I must have gone through the game about 40 times, and I've used this every single time. Um, what can I say? I've got hiccups now. I'm talking so fast. I'm drinking the Coke Zero and having a bit of a, I don't know, having some kind of epileptic seizure. And relax. Yeah, so Resident Evil 3, the Nemesis book, and once again, a beautiful, beautiful book, just depicting maps, where to go. I love guides. I sit and read guides. Oh, love them. I've got quite a few down there, but I am still collecting them. Anybody has any guides they no longer want? Let me know, because I do collect them and I love them to bits. I could read those more than play the games. In fact, I find I'm going away from playing games and more just like looking at the cases and the books about them. It's weird. Things are changing in my life. So I've got a few more bits and bobs just to go through. Nothing major. This one is insane. I don't know how I've got this, but this is a Ricicles box uh, from 1990. No, yeah, 1996 it went out of date. And as you can see, it's got the Rugrats on the back. Do you remember them? Do you remember collecting these? I always wanted Spike the dog. I think I got him eventually. I think I had to swap something for him, probably Pogs, but I got him in the end. And there's Chucky, what's her name? Angelica, and Tommy. Phil and Lil were not in there. They were the twins, weren't they? They obviously were deemed shit and not good enough to be in there. But yeah, there's a Ricicles box. This is obviously, for anyone in America, these were discontinued in England because there was a huge armistice on sugar in cereal and also gifts in cereal. So back in the day, you got a free gift in your cereal, which was staple. You opened the cereal, you'd immediately go into it, you'd get your gift. That was it. And you can't do that anymore because they're not supposed to incentivize cereals anymore. So you don't get a gift. What you do happen to get is you can cut stuff out and stuff like that. But Ricicles got discontinued when they did the sugar armistice because they were classed as too sugary, too sweet, damn you, sir. And you weren't allowed to. They got rid of them. Kellogg's did, and they've never returned them either. They did do them where they had Lucky Charms mallows, planets in them, if anyone remembers, for a very brief period of time. But yeah, there you go. So I own, I don't know if I may be one of the only people now in the UK to own an intact box, Ricicles box. There you go. But there you go. Even the information on the side. Let's have a look how much sugar is in there. It doesn't. Oh, carbohydrates, of which sugar? There's only 18 grams of sugar per bowl. That's quite high. If I look at like a sugary pop, hang on. There's, yeah. So in this bottle, here of Fanta, which is a sugar. It's not sugar free. It's sugary. There is 11 grams of sugar in this bottle of pop, whereas in this one bowl of cereal, there is there is 30 grams of sugar. Fucking hell. 39 grams of sugar. There you go. Yeah, maybe not quite so. Yeah, so they have been banned since all that. They're not allowed in on our shelves anymore. What a shame. Going forward, we've got the Tomb Raider 2 guide. There you go. Once again, I love free guides from the books. There's Lara Croft in a bikini. Dirty girl. She'll catch a death in there. It looks ever so flooded. And she's standing on water. She must be Jesus. But yeah, once again, love just looking at like level layouts and it sings to me. So going through, I've got some more guides and some cheat things, and magazines used to give you a cheat guide or a magazine book or something. I've got a few examples here. One of them, which is very funny. One of them is very famous. This is the famous one. This is the Resident Evil 2 guide, and it is huge. It's full of information. There you go. I remember my very first girlfriend. She read this from start to finish. I didn't, but she didn't play the game, so she lent the game, and I said, read the book, and then you'll learn where you're going. And she said, okay, and she read it like a book. Bless her, bless her. But yeah, she never played the game. She never did it. But yeah, there you go, Resident Evil 2. And then you'd get books like this, cheat books, A to Z of PlayStation cheats and codes. Let's look one up real quick. What game? G-Police, that's a good game. Invincibility. During the mission briefing screen, hold L1 plus L2 plus R1 plus R2 plus circle plus triangle plus all the buttons apart from X, and press back arrow, left. A sound should follow confirming the code was entered correctly. There you go. And there would just be different things. Some of them were really hard. What was the game where you always looked them up and there was never a code? There was somewhere it'd be like, oh, I really need a code, and you'd go on there and it'd say, here we go. So Resident Evil. Let's go Resident Evil 2. Has Resident Evil 2 been released while this book's out? Let's have a look quick. Yeah, Resident Evil 2. You want a cheat code because you're struggling? Yeah, you want infinite ammo weapons? Each infinite ammo weapon will appear in the next game after the first chest is opened and is accessed by completing scenarios within time limits. Pointless. You don't stand. No way. I'm never going to do that. You got the best PS2 cheats book ever. So these were great. These came with the PlayStation magazines. We've got every PS2 cheat ever. Killzone, the complete guide. I remember when this came out. This was very exciting, this game. A to Z of PlayStation solutions. There's Lara Croft there. She's on the loo and you've disturbed her. You've opened the door. Fuck off. She's having a poo. But the weirdest and strangest one I ever had came with Play magazine, which was a kind of a small PlayStation magazine. Was it? I think it was. This is one of the. So think about one of the biggest games on the PlayStation 1. What we look at, Final Fantasy 7, probably. Yeah, you happy with that little choice, boobies? Yeah. Well, this is the guide, right? That's the guide, right? Let me put you in contrast. Where's Resident Evil 2? That is for Resident Evil 2. Okay, nice and big and chunky and thick. That is for Final Fantasy 7. It's the complete walkthrough. And you know what? It is. It is. And there's fucking pages of just pictures as well. And it genuinely is a complete guide to Final Fantasy 7. In fact, right at the very back, which I followed, is how to breed chocobos so you can get the golden chocobo. This book has got everything in it. How the fuck did they fit all that in? There's 68 pages. It's not even that big. But it's genuinely there. It's genuinely all there. A very easy boss. So it tells you about bosses. You know, talk to Tifa and Barrett, then swing for freedom. The plate will collapse, and after a long cutscene, make your way back to Ares' house. You'll be treated to another cutscene. So it goes through in depth in each one. It tells you how to beat the bosses. And then you'll have pages like that. Just pictures. And the pictures aren't even fucking related. I've only just started the game. It's showing me Sephiroth on the final boss. So yeah, very strange little book. We're nearly done, guys. Thank you very much for sticking with me. This is all of them. I have got 6 of the books, but I bought. I just grabbed a few. Resident Evil novels. These are great. These are trash. Utter trash. So that's Zero, Resident Evil 0, the book. That's Resident Evil 2, the book. That one is Resident Evil 3, the book. And this one is Code Veronica, in the title. the book. And they were just, yeah, they were things. I haven't got much left really to go on. I will show you these ones though. Oh, please tell me. Oh, that is brilliant. That is wonderful. Okay, so this is wonderful. So when I was a kid, I really liked Sonic the Hedgehog. I didn't get a Mega Drive until I was about 7, maybe. I was quite long, quite long before I got a Mega Drive. I was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. My parents got me every alternative to Sonic the Hedgehog. They got me the Tiger game, which was awful. They got me board games and anything that was Sonic related that wasn't a Master System or a Mega Drive. Um, they even managed to drum up enough to get me a Commodore 64 with the intent that I was going to be able to play Sonic on it. Obviously, we all know Sonic was never on Commodore 64, but I did play Turbo the Tortoise, which was very similar. And one of the alternatives they did come out with for me was these. Sorry, boobies. These are Sonic the Hedgehog adventure books, and there's 4. I think there was a 5th one, but I've got all 4. This is number 1, Metal City Madness. This is number 2, Zone Rangers. This is number 3, Sonic v Sonic, and I don't know what Tails is doing there. And this is the last one, the Zone Zapper, which was Sonic 4. Now, wonderful. I've just realised number 1 must have been from when I was playing the book, because these are adventure books, and for anyone who's never done an adventure book, you'd read the beginning and it'd say, I don't know, so what do you want to do? Get out of bed, stay in bed, or go to the toilet. So you turn to page 10 if you want to go to the toilet. You turn to page 8, and then you'd follow it, and then you had to try and survive. These were that kind of book, and the objective was to make the right decisions to further yourself through the book. So you could die quite a lot. You had to collect rings in these books, and then obviously you'd lose rings. It looks like I've obviously wrote something on a small piece of paper, and let's see how old this is, because this looks like a receipt. Okay, it is a receipt, but it is so faded that I can genuinely not. It's for Wagamamas, and if you can see that, I'll try and get it to focus on the Wagamamas. Probably not. So this is a receipt for Wagamamas for 2 guests. We ordered gyozas, ame udon, ginger chili men, Coca-Colas twice, and a large sake. I can only imagine that was probably, and it was in 2005. So I obviously went back and revisited this book in 2005 or something, and I decided to write my rings down. But I've wrote how many rings I've got, what I've got in my inventory. That is adorable. There you go. So I went to Wagamamas in 2005. There you go. 2 more things left to show you, and I'll leave this video because it's a very long video, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me on this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed going through this stuff, but I hope you've enjoyed it just as much. So let's do the last 2. Kerrang! With no strangers to the free books. This one was released for AC/DC, which was arguably one of my favouriteest bands of all time. There he is, Angus Young, doing some kind of witchery on that guitar by Sir. But what an amazing band, and yeah, the definitive book. And the last thing, it's nothing particularly special, but I'm a big fan of maps. I've recently found that in my Skyrim game, which I think I've put away, unfortunately. Damn, I was going to show you that. So in my Skyrim, I found a parchment map. It's not there, I don't think. No, I'm not going to waste time trying to find it. But I love maps. I love GTA always has a map. If there's a map in there, I'm laughing. And this was one for, it's very rare, for Westeros, which, as we all know, is from thingy, from tell me, from Game of Thrones. There you go. So yeah, as you can see the map there, and then we've got. I'm trying to find Winterfell. Where's Winterfell? It should be up here. Oh, there he is. There's Winterfell. There you go. And King's Landing would be King's Landing. There's the Vale. And we've got, where's King's Landing? Bay of Crabs. Tarth. Who was Tarth? Wasn't it Bryn of Tarth? That's it, the really big tall lady with the blonde hair. She was from Tarth. And there's Dawn, where those three fucking hell, those daughters. Fucking, that was one hell of a scene. I'm just gonna say that, nothing else. Guys, thank you very much. So yeah, that's some of my stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, because I can always do another one. I've got so much paper style media, some old stuff, and I can even delve into my Japan days when I went to Japan. We can look at some old Japan literature and have a look at that as well. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next video. Hopefully as quick as I possibly can. I'm trying to get as many videos done as I possibly can. I really want to keep you guys entertained, and I've enjoyed that. But if you have anything particularly that you remember collecting, or if you are interested in stuff like this and you just want to talk about it, leave me a comment down below. I will always try and answer as best I can. And yeah, until then, I shall see you in the next video. Thanks guys for spending some time with me, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.